What's going on, YouTube? Got another knife review here for you. Today we're going to be looking at the Quartermaster Murdock. This is a knife that I don't think got very much publicity. I actually only heard about these knives through BTF, Blood Them Flowers. So I don't know, I think he got all four of them. So there's a series of these knives, and I believe that they were made by I think it's the same owner as Mantis knives. I've never owned a Mantis knife, but I did see a picture of this and another Mantis knife that looked very awfully familiar. So I did a little bit of research, and apparently the owner of Mantis knives, kind of did a little side project, and that's kind of the brainchild, or Quartermaster became the little brainchild of that little thing. And the whole idea behind this knives is to have a quality, heavy, hard duty knife made in the U.S. with pretty good materials. And this knife is, I'm looking at Blade HQ's website right now, and it's 79 bucks, 79.95 probably with shipping. And here's what you get. You get full G10 scales, stainless steel liners, a thick 1.875 inch blade stock of CPM 154. So not 154 cm, not AUS 8, but CPM 154, which is Crucible's powder metallurgy version of 154 cm. I mean, this is the steel that custom makers often use on their knives. So that's impressive. You got this deep carry pocket clip, which I'm whatever about, but it's recessed inside the G10 right there, so it doesn't stick out. So aesthetically, that's a little bit more pleasing. You got left-handed carry for this as well. Supreme lockup, like rock solid, no up and down whatsoever. Side to side, I can muster a little bit of side to side play, but inside there, you can already see the gold in there. That's not phosphor bronze, that is thrust bearings. And these bearings are encased into metal casings. So it's not like the plastic ones that you'd get on, say, a 560 Kershaw, zero tolerance. Still very smooth, with the bearings. But even this custom Hoback, has the plastic bearings. So I mean, I don't know if there's a big difference or not, but this one has metal encased bearings, which is pretty impressive. Kind of, I think that's what GTC is kind of like. So you get all of that in this package for $79.95. So three of the knives. So this is again called the Murdock, and the four in the series are basically like the A-team. So one is the Hannibal. The Hannibal is the biggest one and the more expensive one. That one I can't remember, is north of 100 some bucks, 150, maybe 180. That one's like a 4.5 inch blade or something. So it's a big knife. This one, it says on the description that it's 2.75 inches, but I think it's actually 2 1/4 to 2.5 inch blade. Because if you measure it against this 755 MPR from Benchmade, it's quite a bit smaller. I mean, you can see, on this blade, this is sub 3 inches right here. Okay, so I think it's more comparable with, say, the Techno. Even the Techno is as long, maybe even longer than this blade. Okay, so the Techno, I believe, is 2.25 or 2.5 inches on its blade. And so, yeah, so there's Hannibal, there is the BA Baracus one, that's Mr. T. That one's a Karambit. And then there's the other one that's, I don't know his name, but Face, the dude that Bradley Cooper played on the A-Team movie. So, and those are all smaller blades, but they all use the same standard material, kind of like Emerson. Like everything is the same except different shapes. Now the thing about Quartermaster knives, so quality materials is great. Stainless steel locks in great. Centering is good. Look at that, just thick, thick blade, you know. And you can deploy this knife in different ways. I'm using the jimping right here to catch it. I can open it that way, you know, like a Boker Excalibur. You can do the flick like this, typically. So you can flick it out like that. You can do a Spidey drop like this for this blade. You know, the pivots make it so smooth. You can even do a Spidey middle finger flick like that. So opening deployment is very easy. You could probably put a zip tie on here and wave it out if you really wanted to. Liner engages very well on this knife. So quality, fit, and finish of this knife is, well, say, quality and strength of the knife is good. Fit and finish is not the best, again, because there's a little bit of side-to-side wiggle. Not that that would, you know, compromise the strength of this knife at all, I don't think. I have this massive pivot as well. I mean, it's more kind of like the Umnumzan, where it's not a huge pivot, but you know, big screw. These are, I believe, T10 and T9 torque screws on here. You got the flow-through design with stainless steel pillar standoffs right here. You got the stop pin on this side as well. So, quick size comparison with everything else right here. So obviously the MPR is somewhat bigger, but it is thinner. Here's the CQC 15 as well. So obviously, you know, definitely dwarfs, you know, this blade in terms of its length, but in terms of its girth and size, you know, this is a humongous knife. So the MPR is thick, but this one is just huge. So again, it's flow through design, so it's you know, it doesn't sacrifice, or the weight is not that heavy. It actually weighs in at 5.2 ounces. Inside you can see that there's a little bit of skeletonizing, not too much, but on both sides of the scales there is some skeletonizing. So in terms of quality of the knife, I think it's actually really good. Now here's the only detraction, and I've only owned the Murdock, but the styling is similar to the rest of them, and it's this, you know, it's really hard cut, you know, a lot of the cuts are kind of funky actually, and the edges are very hard. Gripping this down hard is, I have hot spots everywhere. So I'm gonna squeeze down here for like 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at my hand. Okay, actually I don't know if you can see it, but I have hot spots all the way through here, through my second knuckle, and then throughout my palm, and then on here on my thumb. It's all hot spots. So when I'm flexing like this into a fist, like, it hurts. Like, my skin is kind of re-expanding and all that. It hurts. A lot of hard edges all over this blade. So a very uncomfortable knife versus the MPR. I don't have any hot spots whatsoever. I feel it because of, you know, I'm still recovering from just squeezing this knife. And you probably just call me a wuss or whatnot, but I'm just telling the truth, you know. So in terms of ergonomics of this knife, it's not, I would say it's not the best. This is, I mean, it's a good utility blade. I can see it being sharp. It's got a nice hollow ground from this thick stock right here. So, you know, if you sharpen this up, oh, and for this one, it's got the mandatory, like, two teeth serration. So I don't know what that's for either. Like, you may as well just give me a whole plain edge blade, because what's this really going to cut into? I really don't know. You can, I mean, if I'm sawing something, like, I can only saw like this, like this little bit amount. So I don't know what the purpose of that is either. So interesting design from Quartermaster, Mantis, or whatever. But other than the ergonomics, it's actually a pretty cool knife. Aesthetically, it's not the best either. Definitely, I think all these knives are way better looking. Techno's, you know, much more streamlined and, you know, easy to carry, easy on the eye. This one is somewhat of an eyesore, I think. And whoever designed this, I don't want to cost them their job or what, but yeah, it's not the best design. Definitely a very, you know, hard looking folder. I will say this, the way that this blade drops down below the frame though is pretty nice. You know, that makes for really good draw cuts. And if I'm holding it like, see, this really hurts. Like my fingers on my second knuckle, this G10 right here is really, really hard cut. I mean, you can maybe see the edge, you know, on there. So very uncomfortable in hand. So, but other than that, I mean, this is a very, very smooth knife. I think it's rare to get a knife in this price point, you know, with this kind of quality. So there's something to be said. I think if Quartermaster does some other things like, you know, somewhat finer looking knives, then I think this could have a lot of potential for this company. So at those price points, so again, the Murdock, the Baracus, and the Face, they're all the same. They're all the same price, and then the Hannibal is slightly more. So 80 bucks, CPM 154, bearing pivots, G10. That's hard to beat, you know. But if you can't get past the aesthetics and the hot spots, you know, the ergonomics, then that's kind of a deal breaker too for me. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. That's the Quartermaster Murdock. Cool knife, but definitely a lot of refinement that needs to happen. Alright guys, you guys take care. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next vid.